Hey everyone, alright, so today I want to talk about the antique finishes and the knob designs that Schlage used to make. Most of these are going to be time capsuled up, box up, put on the bottom shelf so that next week when somebody comes in needing something odd like this, I'll have to dig it all back out. But that's just how it happens. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the unique patterns and shapes and colors that Schlage had over the years. So let's get all this off and get started. I'm going to lay this down so you're not distracted by everything underneath. Let's get started with the LOT. Now, Schlage did use 3 letters for their naming of the shapes of the handles, like PLY is Plymouth, GEO is Georgian, and etc. So LOT, I don't know what it stands for. Maybe Lotto. I think it's LOTO. So if I'm guessing correctly, it's LOTO. So we have the black, the white, brass, and combo. I'm going to talk about combination finishes in a little bit, or towards the end of it. But for now, we have the brass LOT. We have two-tone. This used to be a shiny brass, and then black on the outside. Then we have the 3W, which is the white. 3 finish is brass, and the W means white. So while it doesn't say this here, because that's handwritten in, it's actually probably 3B for black. So 3W, 3B. So black enamel with polished brass finish, white enamel with polished brass finish. Neat design. Next we have the Portola, and they actually spelled that one all the way out. P-O-R would have been the 3-letter version of that. Almost always this came in 609. It was by far the most popular finish, and in fact one of the only finishes I've seen it in, so it may very well be the only finish it came in. And I've got a few kind of rough shape there, but then I have some that have been transformed into other styles on the inside, kind of morphed the locks together. So sometimes this may have come like this from the factory when somebody wanted one finish on the outside, which I'm again going to talk about later with the two-tone locks, and that is why you may see some of these. Some of these may have been done in-house over the years, switching things out, but that is the Portola shape. 609 antique brass finishes. The Bristol, which again was only available to my knowledge in the antique brass finish. This one, compared to the other ones that I'm talking about, is actually a early F-Series style. You can see it's a little bit different than the standard F-Series. It almost looks like a quick set, and in fact functions much the same way. However, a quick set will not fit here. They made sure of that. But this is actually a lever handle. I think I may have a few of these in the A series, and very weak spring was kind of a downfall on them, but very pretty, neat looking lever handle. That did not have much of a return spring built into here. Bristol. Okay, here we have Bell, B-E-L-L. in the aluminum, satin aluminum, or 628 or 28 finish, and also in the 609. That's the only two I've ever seen. Both of these that I have examples of are the wafer key locks, and I'm going to do a video following Night Owl's video soon on actually rekeying the cores. Whole different video, but this is the bell shape in aluminum, which was not used for very long. I'm guessing it was during wartime that kind of became popular. And antique brass. May very well had it in bright brass. I've just never seen one. Also, it's not to be confused with what is very similar to it. It phased it out, but this is the Tulip Shape. The tulip and the bell are very similar to each other. Hey. But you can see, while similar, they are totally pretty different. The bell's got kind of more of a rounded, and this one's more of a conical. But similar enough so that this design phased into this and was sold as a common style. So, bell. And we're going to phase straight into other designs here too, in the aluminum. In the aluminum, we also had Plymouth, which is still sold today, and this one, which was called Novo, I believe. No, not Novo. Yeah, Novo. And it is distinguished by the concentric rings on the inside knob and the trim. That was the only one that had those rings. So it was basically a Plymouth with engraved, not engraved, is that engraved? It may have been pressed in rings. Novo. In the aluminum finish. These are pretty rare to see. And of course the bell. Alright, we have the crown, which was almost always in 605 bright brass finish. This was often seen in the D series for fine homes, but also was available in the A series. And I've never seen one not shiny brass color, so it may have been all they made these in. That was one of my favorite designs. The Crown, or CRO. Before we get into the other ones, might as well go ahead and get the two-tone locks out of the way. So it was very popular in the 50s and 60s and even early 70s for people to do two-tone locks, and that would be locks that are two different finishes to match like the inside, and you would most commonly find it on bathrooms because in that era you had a popular bright chrome, or what they called 26 finish, and it matches the bright chrome faucets and other fixtures that were really popular during the 60s, 70s. So on the outside you would have a brass finish, and on the inside the finish would match the hardware in the bathroom. So that is why there are two-tone finishes. Again, the most popular being 3x26. This one is a 11x26D, and this is a Geo design. This finish 11 is kind of like a satin brass or a 616. There's some discrepancies in exactly what color this was and when it changed, but we will talk about that in a minute. So this would have been very common if they had brushed chrome hardware in a bathroom. It's a privacy lock. And on the outside or the other doors had a different finish. So you pretty much cannot get two-tone locks anymore, from what I know of, without spending a ton of money. But it was not too hard back then because it was more common to see the two-tone locks. And that leads us into Claremont. Claremont was a pretty popular design in the 70s, and I have several different colors out here. So let's take a look at them. These are what I call the crinkle finish colors because the finish has a crinkle effect to it. So first we had black. The Claremont is identified by this one ring and a kind of smushed in face. And most of the Claremonts that I've seen are actually the crinkle finish Claremonts. So they had black. It's a flat black finish, a flat black finish. We had 621, which is a gray speckled crinkle finish. (621) gray. Very common. You would see this used on houses where you had that type of hardware going on. Pretty rare color. Then they had the shiny chrome Claremont. Whew. And the what I presume to be 616 or the 11 finish. Now there is some discrepancy here because here they call 616 satin bronze, and here they call this 616 antique bronze, which is actually this. So I'm not sure whether it transitioned from crinkly to this and kept the same finish code, but that to me looks like satin brass and black, and that is more of a 612 in black. So I'm not sure. 612 being copper finish. So I'm not sure about that, but also again you saw them two-tone to match the inside fixtures in the bathroom. So you'd have this on old farmhouse, like ranch style houses. And there was a wave of this. I've got you can find strap hinges, you can find latches, all with this kind of crinkle 612 copper finish. It's very popular to see. I would guess maybe over in the West compared to here, because it seems just to me more of a Western style finish. But there was a lot of houses that had like cabinet hinges and stuff with this black iron. Let me just show you. This is kind of what I was talking about. You would see this old copper on certain styles of houses with cabinet latches and hinges and L-shaped hinges, shorter L-shaped hinges, and H hinges. Very common to see that. So if you had a house that had that type of design motif going on, then this was your best bet to go with. So anyway, that would be old copper in my opinion. So Claremont in different finishes, and that kind of takes care of several finishes. So we'll talk about a couple more things. Brief talk about Tulip. I believe Tulip is still available. I haven't checked lately, but Tulip, you can find these in all finishes. This is a shiny chrome, brushed chrome, and polished brass. Now, while I'm on the Tulip and what it looks like compared to other stuff, there is another very similar one called the Luna. Now, the Luna has a very, very similar shape, except it is not flared out. We hold the Luna up next to a Tulip. You can see the difference. Tulip shaped, and that's kind of straight. So that is the Luna, which was available, from what I know, 613, which is an oil rub bronze. And you can see this oil rub bronze is, obviously it's 30 plus years old. So it's light, but nowadays the oil rub bronze comes kind of darker. And it's a popular finish because as you use it, it kind of wears in and creates different colors on the handles just from your hand turning the knobs. Some people don't like that, so it's best to get a different finish if you're not fond of that. But that is the Tulip and the Luna. Alright, the Plymouth by Venice. I think it's Venice, V-E-N. These were kind of weird. They were knob by lever. And one of the biggest failings with them, in my opinion, has always been the fact that when you turn the key, or when you turn the knob, it's interconnected here. So see, when you turn the knob, it turns the handle down, and then when you turn the key, it turns the handle down. I was never really fond of that feature to their A-series knob by lever. And interestingly enough, when it's unlocked, it turns, but when it's locked and you turn the key, it does not turn, and that's because it's just retracting the latch. So if you just push it in, when you start to turn the key on these, it actually turns the inside lever and then causes it to pop out. So it was kind of connected together there. And you know, this very short handles. Look at that shape. That's kind of goofy. It's not surprising this one went by the wayside. But I have seen a few different lever shapes with the knob lever. Very common to see like Plymouth flare and Portella flare. So just kind of a weird design. Knob by lever. Alright, this is the mysterious 616 that I was talking about earlier. Antique bronze, satin brass and black. I don't know which one it is, but I'm pretty sure this was the 616. And these are Geo design. And then there's this one, and I don't know, this one just may have aged. It's not the same finish, but I don't know what finish that is, but that is a weird kind of a muted brass black finish there. So there's two different ones as well. Kind of not seen anymore finishes. And then we had smooth black that is different. This is the Plymouth. You can see the difference between Plymouth and Geo. These are still made and sold by the thousands today. These are the two most popular. Plymouth, smooth, Geo has the ridges. But there was also the smooth black, which is still available as well today, 622 finish. This was black and brass. Most of the black nowadays is all. You're not going to see a combination color like that. People would freak out. But it was just a smooth matte black is what it's called, or matte black, 622 finish. And here you can see it's two-tone from back in the day. But again, nowadays it would be all black. Here's another two-tone. Oddly enough, the black is on the inside, so that doesn't go with the theory of matching. This goes more with the theory of matching 26D in the hallway and black on the inside of wherever that is. Alright. Satin Brass 606. This is what I call the puke yellow color. Because it is a pukey yellowish color. Plymouth 606 Satin Brass. Which I think is still available in certain locks, not all, but in certain locks that color might still be available. Also 612 copper color, again two-tone. This one is still available, 612, or what I call the copper finish. Which is not quite the same as the other one. 606, you can tell the difference very easily there. This is actually kind of a weird finish because a lot of people order it by mistake, but it is still available. It's weird in that it's still available. That's all I'll say. You can still order like the Schlage deadbolts. I've had to special order them in that color to match certain things, but that is what I call the copper finish, or 612. The Italian Schlage. We had a few Schlages that were made in Italy. AVA and SIE. SIE is still a finish or a shape made, Sienna. And Sienna is basically what everybody calls the egg-shaped knob. And again, these are way different in function and form and how they attach to the door. These were primarily passive and privacy locks. Again, made in Italy, which is kind of weird. I'd like to know the history behind that if anybody from Schlage is watching. But that is the AVA, which I believe is Avalon. I want to say Avalon. And this is your typical post spindle setup. It's not like the A series. It's not like the F series. It's more of a antique. And this was to get during the time when it was very common to have the post and spindle style locks on houses. You had some fairly complicated parts to put together for this one, which is probably why they weren't so popular. But it did use the spindle through the latch and the set screws to tighten down on both of them. So that is Sienna and Avalon. Almost all of them are going to be in the polished brass finish. And we're going to wrap it up with the one that everybody, at least everybody on Twitter, since this morning I posted a picture of the wood. We're going to look at Schlage wood. And this one was 613, which this is your 613 or Aura bronze finish. Of course, it's been sitting for a while, but most commonly it was either 605 or the 613, just to knock the color down. This is kind of an unusual combination. Most of it was 605 and 613, but yes, that is real. I believe this is Rosewood. It is formed around the metal there. Let's see if we can take one side off here. Where's the retainer? Oh, there's the retainer hole. Oh, that's way up in there. There we go. It had a metal thing shoved in it. I'd like to see how they made those. Schlage, call me. I want to go to your factory. But yeah, Rosewood, this is some that were off of a property. And you can see how different elements have affected the wood. This was on the outside, that's the inside. One of them here, we can actually see some cracks in the wood. There we go. So sad. I'm going to try to repair these. This has been sitting in my quote naughty bucket for a long time to refurbish all this wood as best I can. But you can also see it's got a little chip in it there, so kind of a time-consuming process. But yes, these are the wafer style, which again I'm going to talk about in a different video. In the meantime, you can go look at Night Owl's video. I'll link it right here. And stay tuned, because I'm going to, since he took the bulk of the workout, I'd actually done a video on these. He posted his. It covered pretty much what I said in my initial video, so I'm going to start from the core being out and just changing it. But that is your wood. See, this one is obviously a 612, so they had 612 as well. And that is definitely 605. So, probably 3 finishes. 612 wood, 613 for the darker look, and then the bright brass as well. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm sure I left something out. I'm sure I'm going to run across something like this lever, you know, that I'll run across and I'll be like, dang it, I didn't put that in the video. But I just wanted to show these off. I will point out another wood, because I did. If you go look at my Twitter, you'll see this one. This is not Schlage, this is Corbin Russwin. But while I have the woods out, I will show you the Corbin Russwin wood version as well. I think it is a much cooler shape, but that's just me. So in case you haven't seen a Corbin Russwin woody, there you go. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Y'all be sure and hit that like and subscribe button all over the place here at the end. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Appreciate you watching while I get these squared away, and y'all have a great weekend.